Alligator Alcatraz is now underwater, completely flooded.
Say it ain't so. Alligator Alcatraz already flooded, y'all.
One thing God don't play about is his people. I'm gonna say that again. One thing God don't play about is his people, his children, these babies, and these elderly people, and people who are innocent and are being oppressed at the hands of their oppressor. Guess what?
Alligator Alcatraz is underwater. It did not take long for Alligator Alcatraz to be underwater. It was built like what? 5 days ago? 5 days ago it was built and now it's underwater. I don't know. Something's fishy. Something's fishy. Did they just clean money right in front of us? Did they just clean their dirty money right in front of us? Because, baby, what are you talking about? I am so happy there were no prisoners in the camp when it went underwater. It's really giving. Y'all just gave Bikini Bottom another property. That's what it's giving. Like, what is really tea? I don't understand. Like, imagine if there are people inside. I don't know. I hope our tax dollars didn't go into this. Because we already struggling as it is in recession. And y'all done built a property that cost millions of dollars and it done flooded in 5 days. Technically 8, but still. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. Like, I don't know. Funny work, but this is outrageous.
That this will be lasting for 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years. How long is temporary in this?
Temporary until the job is done. So it could be a while, but it's a temporary structures. And the good thing is they don't have to go build any new buildings. They're using all the existing runways, all the existing poured concrete, and they're using tents and they're using trailers, and everything that's being brought in can be brought right back out when they're done with this process.
Obviously, you know, Florida has hurricane season. Your community was hit really hard just the last couple of years ago. What is the plan? Because I keep hearing the governor say there's going to be a plan, but I don't hear anyone actually document what is the plan for once you put people there. If there is a tropical storm or a hurricane warning, what is going to happen to those people? What are you going to do with them? What is the plan?
Well, if you could believe it, Jim, these tents could withstand a strong Category 2 hurricane. So they can deal with winds up to 120 miles an hour. They're already prepared. And this is where Florida really excels. You know, you have Kevin Guthrie, the Department of Florida Emergency Management. You know, he helped this process by bringing all these materials. This was almost like a setup job for one of these hurricanes that we do with all these materials, bringing it in and setting up the staging area and everything else. So I have no worries whatsoever about a hurricane. Like I said, these are built to withstand a strong Category 2.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So you all know there was a grand opening of Alligator Alcatraz that was inaugurated on July 1st with President Trump, Governor DeSantis, and DHS Secretary Naomi in attendance. And after the inauguration, the operation were to start on 3rd of July 2025, which they did, but there was a flood incident that happened, and reports confirmed that within a day of opening on either July 1st or July 2nd, heavy summer rain caused water to seep inside the tents, reaching electrical cables and pulling around the facility. And there was the flooding, as it's saying. And to my surprise right now is that after that, on July 3rd, 2025, reports confirmed that a few hundred people were being held at the facilities. So that means there are still people allegedly in the facilities as we are talking, and maybe a day after the floods. So people are reacting on this, and Americans has a lot to say. Some are like happy that this happened and it was gonna stop them from detaining immigrants there, but it seems like that did not stop them, and it's crazy, guys. So I want us to watch these videos and what some Americans have to say about this. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screens. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, make sure to subscribe. So let's just dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary. And if you know more about this, let us know in the comment section down below.
Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. This is a sign. It has flooded, and it is no longer available for service as of now. It is being reported that it is uninhabitable. Water has compromised the structure. And it's as good as done for now. At least for the next couple of weeks, these beds are going to remain empty. And that is a major blow a few days from 4th of July. You know what this means? This means that the man up above does not agree with what is going on here. He does not agree with this. Mind you, this was the last administration under Biden, not the current one. Now, don't get confused. Those beds don't even look comfortable. You know, this happened before in the 1940s in a certain country that's not here, but Germany. And people think that he wasn't going to step in and shut down this alligator Alcatraz. Well, it's shut down.
Look, I don't know need to hear this, but all I can say is I told you. Y'all think God play? He don't. Let me say this loud so the blind and the deaf can hear this. God don't play about his people. Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. It's official. Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. It wasn't no climate change, but they said it could survive all these natural storms. It couldn't even survive the rain on Tuesday. That place was already demonic. Everybody think it drowning was a coincidence. It wasn't. My name is Kim. I do motivational content on TikTok, and I want to talk about how Alligator Alcatraz just flooded. I mean, y'all couldn't even last one day. Alligator Alcatraz was made to house immigrants, mothers, fathers, refugees. And they claimed that it was safe. Even the president went there to say it was safe. Smiling, laughing, all happy. And then one day it flooded from rain. Simple rain. It wasn't no traumatic storm or nothing like that. This is the government that y'all put hope in. This place was made to house migrants, people who ran from war, poverty, and death. The U.S. government put them in a swamp-infested death trap full of gators, snakes, barbed wire, and water. And now it's flooded. And y'all think it's a game. But God don't play about his people. It don't matter if they migrants. It don't matter the color. All people are his people. That's not nature. That's justice. Think God gonna stay silent while people are caged and tortured? Behind fake fences and water? Y'all think God ain't watching every single wicked thing that's being done on earth right now? Then y'all sadly mistaken. That flood was a message. Anytime something demonic get flooded, that's a message. That's a warning. If you still staying silent, comfortable and complicit, there's something wrong with you. It don't matter if it's not your problem. That don't mean you ain't part of the problem. The problem is it's evil wrapped in law and order. And God to stop making these things okay. Because God watching his people. Even if you feel like they're not his people, they still is. You're not gonna speak it for real, then you might as well just sit on the sidelines. Alligator Alcatraz, you can clearly see it ain't safe. It ain't even safe for the alligators themselves. And think about it. Imagine if they actually stopped putting people there, and then it was a flood, and every gator in that water was on land. No guards, no fences. You gotta fend for yourself, right? That's what the setup was. But unfortunately, God made sure ain't nobody touched foot on that property before something was done. This is an eye-opener. Nobody controls nothing in this world but God. Not your government, not your politicians, not even the damn alligators in that water. If God wants his people safe, they gonna be safe. And I ain't picking sides, I'm just saying. At the end of the day, like I said in my first video, this was done to you, how would you feel? That's what determines what you stand up for. Because the government gonna put it in your face until you feel like it's okay. And then they gonna do it to you. And if nobody told you, remember Chemo told you, stay motivated. And I know them government officials mad as hell.
Before we continue, guys, you can see some are saying it's God doing his work. Others are saying is that the government was trying to, clean money or something of this sort, like you all know about cleaning money and money laundering and all that. So everyone has, something to say, or everyone has a different story as to why this happened. And it's quite sad that people will be held, or people are being held at this center, this detention center, that are complaining they don't get enough food, they're not getting enough water. And the most saddest and the most hurtful thing about this is that there are people who are creating videos celebrating this place, celebrating the president of the United States of America opening this place and putting people in this place, thinking that this is the country that is always talking about human rights and preaching to each and every other country about respecting human rights, about having humanity. And now they are doing this to people whose only crime that they've committed is crossing the border illegally, which is also a crime. But putting them under these harsh conditions doesn't they don't deserve this punishment, honestly. It's okay. I know there are no other countries that actually allow people to live or stay illegally in their country, or, you know, cross the borders illegally. But this punishment, putting people where there are alligators and other wild animals, some mosquitoes, like, this is not a safe place for a human being to be held at. You know, they could have done something else much better. And what's going to happen to these people that are now going to be denaturalized, you know, where their citizenship will be taken away and then they will be illegal in that country? There is a lot of questions that are actually coming up. So let's continue and we'll come back with more commentary. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Let me know what you think about people who are being held here. And I'm just thinking, what about that time that there was gonna be a hurricane in this place? If they cannot withstand just these, you know, floods, what about the hurricane? Like, what are gonna be the conditions of people who are gonna be in there? Will the government step up to help? Like, what are the humanitarian officers saying about those that deal with human rights and all that? Anyway, let's just continue and we'll come back.
Alligator Alcatraz is now underwater, completely flooded. It hasn't even had not one prisoner in there. I mean, I'm glad it ain't had no prisoners in there anyway, because I didn't even like the idea from that to begin with. But I must say, I am sick of the government playing in our faces and us just allowing it. I saw several people saying that they felt like it was a tax-paying scheme from the jump, and I definitely 100% agree. Y'all mean to tell me y'all built a $480 million project in the middle of the swamp during hurricane season, and y'all had no idea that I was gonna flood? Design intent, be for real. And then it looked like it was literally just a tent, like a few tents on a abandoned airport strip. That shit was not worth no $480 million, be for real. Y'all did not need that much money to invest into that. The government did that knowing it was gonna flood, so they can get that $480 million back in insurance claims and have the money, and we won't raise too many questions or concerns about where our tax-paying, you know, money is going. And do you know what we could have done with $480 million? Y'all always want to pull money out y'all ass, but then act like y'all can't house the homeless or feed those in need. Y'all something else, I will say that.
Say it ain't so. Alligator Alcatraz already flooded, y'all. God must work in mysterious ways, ain't it? Now, they said this joint is going to be able to survive a hurricane, but it couldn't even survive a rainstorm on Tuesday. Now, let's just say the joint got real flooded, and I'm talking about alligators walking up in that joint. What they gonna do then? Like, are the guards gonna abandon them? Like, what? Can you imagine being locked in a gate while the joint flooding, and you see an alligator walking, or you see a anaconda or a python just slithering its way in between the fucking gates? What would you do? I mean, what do you expect? They put this joint together in 8 days. No mercy, no infrastructure, and probably no fucking drainage. At this point, look at it, y'all, the water just seeping in. But I promise you, they probably don't give a fuck. They don't care how these people gonna be living. This joint only one storm away from becoming a floating detention center. The fuck? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
I don't know who need to hear this, but somebody do. Trump. Do you see, Trump, that Alligator Alcatraz is already flooded? It's already flooded. Don't you see that's a sign coming from somewhere? That's a sign coming from somewhere. I hope you take heed. And it's only going to get worse. We in hurricane season. It's going to continue to rain, and it's going to continue to rain, and it's already on swamp water. It's going to only get worse. And how you going to get all these people from out of there when it get worse? Oh, I forgot. You probably don't even care anyway. But anywho, Trump, take heed. It ain't got to be like that. It ain't got to be like that. Just give them a chance to go on back home or whatever. Or do something else. All that Alligator Alcatraz, where they gonna run to? They can't run. What, they gonna run into an alligator mouth? But anywho, y'all have a blessed day.
So I've seen videos on TikTok about people celebrating or thanking God or calling it karma or what the fuck ever when it comes to this Alligator Alcatraz apparently got flooded, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this is God is on our side. Oh my fucking God. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to flood. They probably are so happy that everybody's saying that or thinking that, because you think that's going to stop them once it's not flooded? No. They are going to keep putting people in them cages and pray for another flood. And then when it floods again and 500 or however many people get drowned and then eaten by alligators. Oops, my bad. But I didn't kill them though. I didn't genocide them. Nah, bro, y'all are falling. How are you so goofy? Go crack a book. Like the enemy is malicious and smart, and I gotta give it to the colonizers, bro. All of them, like 500 years back, they are so good at what they do, bro. It's insane. Like, it's so fucking bad that people will look you in your face and say the Atlantic slave trade never even happened. They are so good at what they do that Mexicans will come up to me with this shit around my neck and say, "Oh, that's cartel behavior," you know. But saying, "Oh, praise God," or "Oh yeah," what? Where? Let me ask you something. Where is God? Where is God out there in Gaza? Where is Allah? Where is Yahweh? Allah, there Yahweh. He ain't there. This is what you see in Gaza. Death. This is the only thing you see saving them babies out in Gaza. Death.
Yeah, so that is what happened, guys, of which, as per my research, it's been said that the floods were not that much, that they managed to handle it, and they also brought in people on that of July, as I said, 2025, a few hundred people, as per what the reports are confirming. So even some detainees are saying that Cuban artist Lindsay Quedor, I hope I have pronounced the name right, aka Lindsay La Figura, says there are over 400 detainees held under harsh conditions, no water to take bath, food once a day, even has worms in it, while white light mosquitoes the size of elephants. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine being in a place with such conditions? It's quite crazy. Other detainees report receiving only 1 meal per day with insufficient water, always on lighting, cold tent interiors, and denial of religious items. The facility is scaled to hold up 3,000 to 5,000 detainees, operated by the Florida Emergency Management Division with DHS or ICE support. So I didn't even know that people are already like held at these detention center, and as they've said that there are over 400 plus that are actually there, you know, and you can see there's place. The conditions is just humane conditions, including lack of water, frequent and poor food, inadequate access to showers, and forced exposure to bright lights and freezing tents. So right now, just thinking of what's happening, and when this administration, when Trump and his administration, when they were campaigning, they campaigned about making America great again, making America a great country. And most people actually voted for this because they wanted a great nation. And there is nothing wrong with wanting a great nation. But did you ever sit down and ask yourself, when you voted for this and wanted a great nation, is this a great nation for each and every other human being staying or living in the United States of America, including these illegal immigrants? You know, they all are out here preaching about Christianity and, having or trying to show us on how we should follow the Christianity morals. But whatever they are doing is not right unless they are reading a different Bible from what we actually read. Because whatever this administration is doing to these illegal immigrants, detaining people at a place that you can already see that there is not safe for humans, there are inhumane conditions that are there for humans to be able to survive. These mosquitoes, no water for shower, food once a day, like that is punishment just because they crossed the border illegally. And these people are not even causing any harms on the American citizens. These are the same people that were working on your farms, on your ranches, working at milking your cows, the milk that you get from the store, getting the eggs that you get from the store, the groceries, the fruits that you get from the stores, the tomatoes. But right now, people are complaining on how life is actually getting expensive. And why? You've seen farmers crying that they're not having enough people to work on their farms, and most of the produce is getting spoiled because there is no one to pick the produce. There is no one to take the produce to the market. Some farmers, like that video that was going viral of this Caucasian farmer that was like all red and his face was swollen because of working under harsh conditions that these same illegal immigrants that you all tried so hard to deport work under, and his face and his eyes were swollen. Reason is because he was working under the sun, which he's not used to. He's used to being in an office waiting for people to work for him and bring him money where he pays them peanuts. You see, farmers are out here complaining that some have to close their farms, some cattle are dying, they don't have anyone to milk their cows and they cannot do it. And when you're having like Caucasian people going to work in these farms, they cannot because of these harsh conditions, because of the weather. They are not able to work under these harsh conditions. But you are out here that happy that illegal immigrants are being taken out of the country, are being detained, and with a mass deportation. And I get to ask myself, like, you said that these illegal immigrants are taking away the jobs, but right now farmers are complaining that there is no one to work at their farms. There is no one to help with the farm produce, but you voted for these and you said they're taking your jobs. But now that there is job opportunities, none of you want to take these jobs, for all you that voted for these illegal immigrants to be taken away, because they're taking job opportunities from the American citizens. And right now that there are no people to work in the farms, work in these ranches, work in these construction sites, none of you that is coming out and saying, I want to work at this place. Why? First of all, they're paid very badly, working under harsh conditions. No one cares about their health, because if you can go and work under the sun and you got swollen for working just for a few hours, imagine for those of them that were working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. under these same harsh conditions that some of you cannot work in. And some of you are here on social media creating videos and celebrating that, this Alligator Alcatraz is being put there for these people to be held there, and you're happy because the only way out is a one-way ticket back to their countries. I don't even know what America is turning into. Seeing people celebrating people being detained at this place that is very inhumane for people to be there, the conditions, harsh conditions. I don't understand. When we all see Americans, so many of them always crying to free Palestine, free whatever, free other countries, don't do this to these people. But you're happy for your people that in your country living under the same harsh conditions, to be detained in this place, to be deported. People who actually are not meaning any harm to the American citizens, who are not criminals, who are not going out there to steal. Like, tell me, what are kids who are going to school have done to you? They're just innocent kids, and the blame should not be put on them. You saw there are also kids that were deported, because you're gonna come here and say, oh, saying about the kids and all that, but you've seen kids being deported, kids representing themselves in a court of law, like some who are confused and don't understand even what's going on. It's so sad, guys, but let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part. Let me know what you've heard also about this story and what the reports are saying actually out there, to get to know more. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with your friends and loved ones. And until the next episode, bye.